Welcome back to India First, and in a big boost to India First, to a made in India vaccine, Prime Minister Narendra Modi took his first jab today in this war against coronavirus, and the Prime Minister placed his trust in the Bharat Biotech Covaxin, a made-in-India vaccine. Remember, many people had raised many doubts about this Make in India or this made-in-India vaccine, but the Prime Minister placed his trust in. Early this morning, before the crack of dawn, the Prime Minister drove to the All India Institute of Medical Sciences. No security, no detail. The Prime Minister went there, got his jab. We'll tell you more about what the Prime Minister said to those nurses there. The symbolism of that jab, the effort to remove vaccine hesitancy. Take a look at this report. Before we come to the politics on the subject, take a look at what happened earlier this morning.
He came, he sat, and he got the shot. Could there be a bigger, more emphatic boost to India's vaccination effort than this? Early on Monday morning, as India rubbed the sleep from its eyes, the Prime Minister was doing what he wants the whole country to do without hesitation. And with this one shot, he flags off the crucial second phase of India's historic COVID-19 vaccination drive. After getting the first dose, Prime Minister Modi posted a picture of himself wearing his favourite Assamese gamcha and getting inoculated with a smile on his face. Later, flanked by Sister P Niveda from Puducherry and Sister Rosamma Anil from Kerala, the Prime Minister was still beaming. To lighten the mood, the Prime Minister asked the nurses whether they were using a needle meant for veterinary purposes. Joking that politicians are known to be thick-skinned, this put the nurses immediately at ease. Sister Niveda says she was not aware that she had to administer the vaccine to the Prime Minister until Monday morning.
सर को वैक्सीनेट करने के लिए मुझे बुलाया गया था और इधर आने के बाद पता चला कि सर आ रहे हैं। सर से मिलकर अच्छा लगा, सर ने अच्छी बात की है। सर को भारत बायोटेक की कोवैक्सिन दिया गया है फर्स्ट डोज, अभी 28 डेज में सेकेंड डोज पेंडिंग।
I think it's very nice to see sir, just very nice. Sir also is very comfortable.
Prime Minister came here via a normal route. There was no special route that was put in place for the Prime Minister to come and take the vaccine shot. But to all the naysayers who raised questions and had vaccine hesitancy, it's a clear message that those above 60 years and those above 45 years with comorbidities must come forward and take the vaccine jab against coronavirus.
The Prime Minister will be hoping that these images serve to reassure a troubled nation where millions appear to be still in two minds about getting the vaccine. And this will be crucial because with a target of 30 crore vaccinations by July, India needs to vaccinate at least 13 lakh citizens daily, but is currently managing less than 3 lakh. As the Covaxin shot makes its way through the Prime Minister's bloodstream, strengthening his 70-year-old frame and inoculating him against the infection, he will be hoping these images beamed to all corners of the country will do their job and push a dithering citizenry to get the shot. With Milan Sharma in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
So you heard Milan Sharma's report there. The Prime Minister jokingly asked the two nurses, are you using a thicker needle for me? Are you using a needle that's usually used by veterinary surgeons? And the nurses were instantly at ease. But are the naysayers at ease now? Because many argue, damned if you do and damned if you don't. So when the Prime Minister wasn't the first to take the vaccine, they were asking questions, why isn't the Prime Minister leading by example? Now when the Prime Minister has taken a shot, again questions are being raised. Take a look at the politics around the vaccine before I bring in our guests on the broadcast, and we have a good panel. We'll have a debate on this subject, but first take a look at the politics surrounding the vaccine.
A gamcha from Assam. Shot administered by a nurse from Puducherry, who was ably assisted by another nurse from Kerala. All states that go to polls a month from now. The first anti-COVID jab in the second phase of world's largest vaccination drive was more than just the Prime Minister setting an example for fellow citizens, claims the Congress. The party is accusing the Prime Minister of playing vote bank politics.
मैंने देखा कि उन्होंने गमछा पहने हैं और केरल और तमिलनाडु की नार्स को भी मदद ले रहे हैं। संयोग से ऐसा लगता है कि 3 राज्यों में चुनाव है, तो मैंने ये भी सोचा कि अगर एक हाथ में ऋषि अरविंद जी की तस्वीर हो जाते और एक हाथ में गीतांजलि हो जाते, तो 5 राज्यों में जो चुनाव है, ये 5 राज्य उसमें शामिल हो जाते।
अब ये भी तय होगा कि किस राज्य की नर्स प्रधानमंत्री को टीका लगाएगी, और अगर गमछा में किस राज्य का डालूंगा, ये जो क्षेत्रवाद है और ये जहरीली मानसिकता है, ये खतरनाक है लोकतंत्र के लिए।
While a slew of VVIPs took the shot, some Congress leaders don't agree with the strategy. Senior Congress leader Mallikarjun Kharge says youngsters should be the priority in vaccination.
मैं 70 प्लस हूँ, अब मेरा तो ये उद्देश्य है, भाई मेरे बजाय आप मेरे से यंगस्टर्स को दो जो लॉन्गविटी ऑफ लाइफ रहती है उसकी। अब हमारी जो लाइफ है वो 10-15 साल की रहती है।
The BJP has hit back. It has accused the opposition of politicizing the vaccination drive.
प्रधानमंत्री सबसे पहले चले जाएं, मंत्री सबसे पहले चले जाएं, ये जो वीआईपी कल्चर है, इसको तो प्रधानमंत्री जी ने आते ही जो है 6.5 साल पहले ध्वस्त कर दिया था। नो लाल बत्ती, नो सब्सिडी और धमक और धाक की राजनीति को ध्वस्त करके जो भी पारी है उस पारी का प्रोटोकॉल, चाहे मंत्री हो, चाहे संतरी हो और चाहे नीचे का व्यक्ति, उसको करना पड़ेगा। और आज ये बात आपने देखी है।
प्रधानमंत्री जी ने स्वयं जो वैक्सीन को लेकर जिसके बारे में अनेक प्रकार के संदेह पैदा किए जा रहे थे, आज इस तरह की जो भी बातचीत देश में चलती थी उसको मैं समझता हूँ कि पूर्ण विराम लग जाना चाहिए।
While India is waging a war for a COVID-mukt Bharat, the vaccine drive itself will not be free of politics, as the war of words suggests. Bureau Report, India Today.
I have Dr. Shama Mohammed joining me from the Congress Party. Guru Prakash joins me from the Bharatiya Janata Party. And Dr. Sanjeev Bagai will give us a medical perspective. We'll also comment on the politics around the Prime Minister's vaccination. But Dr. Shama Mohammed, Law Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad says this isn't about a BJP vaccine or a Congress vaccine. Can we leave politics aside and keep India first? Why is it that there is a problem if the Prime Minister gets a shot?
First and foremost, Gaurav, the Prime Minister should have, many Prime Ministers, world leaders have got shots. It's not Prime Minister Modi. They got the shot when the vaccine came in. Now, let's understand Covaxin, when it came in, the phase 3 trials were done with our frontline workers, with doctors and nurses, which was very wrong, according to me. After seeing everything, Mr. Modi, the Prime Minister, should have taken it at that point of time when it came in, so that people have confidence. In the initial phase, they see the Prime Minister taking it, they say, okay, the Prime Minister of India is taking it, we're confident. Because still now, everybody has been skeptical, okay. We are not sure about all these things. Number 2 is that, you know, that there has been what he's worn, the particular gamcha, suddenly all of a sudden there's a love for that, you know, all those things, there's no need. And also they're giving a provisional certificate.
I'll come to what he's worn in just a moment, okay. Dr. Shama Mohammed. But you are saying the Prime Minister should have led by example and taken the vaccine first. But Mr. Guru Prakash, ma'am, one point at a time, please.
But
Guru Prakash, why did the Prime Minister not take the vaccine first? Why did the Prime Minister wait for... So wait, one point at a time, Dr. Shama Mohammed. Guru Prakash, Shama Mohammed raises the point, or the Congress Party raises the point, why did the Prime Minister not lead by example, and why did lakhs of frontline workers have to take it first? Health workers and then frontline workers and then the Prime Minister.
Gaurav, as there is a massive public now, and because of which the Health Minister has to resign. And precisely the reason was the VIP culture. The reason was breaking the queue. The sense of entitlement which the Congress Party has had over the course of last 7 decades is extremely problematic. They have made the the son-in-law, the first son-in-law of the country. We still remember his name on airports, relieving himself from the checking. So it's very regular for the Congress party to raise such a question.
Son-in-law whose name is on the airport? No, I want him to explain. Who is the son-in-law? I don't know what he's talking about.
When you were speaking, ma'am. I did not.
No, but he's talking. Can you ask him who the name of the son-in-law is?
Please have the grace and patience, ma'am. Please have the grace and patience. By doing this, you are reflecting the traits of your organization. This is unacceptable in a national television. Please, ma'am.
But let's stay on the issue, sir. Son-in-law is not the issue of this debate.
Who are you to decide what is acceptable?
Not the issue of this debate.
He is bringing up things which is not even connected with the vaccination. Now, of course, I will interrupt.
But let's stay on the subject. The son-in-law is not the subject of the debate.
You are just showing the sanskar of your party, ma'am, so please avoid doing that.
Sanskar? What is sanskar of...
Okay.
No, sorry. What are you talking about?
Guru Prakash, stay on the subject, sir.
Subject, yes. Stay on the subject. If you go to sanskar, I can teach you sanskar.
It is a remarkable moment today. I know you are marginalized, your party is marginalized. That is why you have to interfere.
I can teach you sanskar. So stick to the point.
People of India have taught you the sanskar, so we don't need any sanskars from you.
Okay, stick to the point,
gentlemen. It is a remarkable moment, ma'am. Okay. It is a remarkable moment, and we should obviously, across the political line, across the political spectrum,
sir, you said it's a remarkable moment. Guru Prakash, wait. Sir, one point at a time. Shama Mohammed says, Dr. Shama Mohammed says that it should have been the Prime Minister leading by example. You are saying the Prime Minister wanted the people who needed to be vaccinated first to get it first. Dr. Bagai, as a doctor, where do you stand on this? Should the Prime Minister have led by example as several world leaders did? Would that have helped fight the vaccine hesitancy that we notice in our country, sir?
Good evening, Gaurav. Good evening, everyone. I'll base my comments purely on medical facts. To begin with, what happened today first? There are 4 carry-home messages as far as the Honorable Prime Minister getting the vaccine done today early morning. One, that he has believed in science, he's believed in Indian science, he's backed data, he's gone by facts which have been given to him by the Indian scientists and Indian researchers. 2, he has opted for the Covaxin, which is the Bharat Biotech, which is the indigenous production of India. Huge kudos to him. Point number 3 is a message pan-India as a huge public awareness campaign to remove any remnant of vaccine hesitancy. And 4, flanked with the nurses, he is actually honoring the nurses who have done phenomenal work. It doesn't matter which state the nurses come from, but it's honoring the nurses which very often don't get recognition. Go one step backwards. Why and what time is the timing of the Prime Minister's vaccination?
Okay.
The most vulnerable group are the healthcare workers. That is the protocol laid down by the Indian scientists, Indian researchers, the vaccine committee group, which have perhaps the best intellectual minds. The first set of vaccines were given to the healthcare workers because they are the most vulnerable. They are the most at risk to die because of COVID. India has lost 630 plus doctors as innocent lives in the line of duty. The second set were above the age group of 60. So the guidelines which he has set for the country is what he is following. So what he's actually shown is discipline. He's shown what he has been asked to do by the
Dr. Shama Mohammed. Okay.
Can I come in? So a couple of points. The doctor said honoring
Fair enough, sir. Good point you make there. Yes, ma'am. So very, very important point. The Prime Minister honored the protocol that had been set. The Prime Minister did not jump the queue. Those who were most vulnerable, where lives were at stake, they got the vaccine first. The Prime Minister got it. He waited in the queue for his turn. Then he got the vaccine. Dr. Shama Mohammed, does this not remove that so-called VVIP culture in our country where the Prime Minister also stands in a queue, waits for his turn and then gets a vaccine? That's point 1, ma'am. Point 2, that gamcha from Assam, a nurse from Puducherry, a nurse from Kerala. What difference does that make, ma'am?
Okay, now a couple of points. First and foremost, the doctor mentioned about honoring the nurses. You can honor the nurses by telling their names. You don't need to tell from which state they come from. We're Indians at the end of the day. Why was the states given more importance? You just say the names of the nurses. Very good of the Prime Minister to do that. But I don't think it's important to give the name of the states. The states' names were given because we're going into elections in Puducherry, Kerala, as well as Assam. And that is very clear. Then the other point which you raised is what I've mentioned is the Prime Minister should have started in the beginning like the rest of the world leaders. He had to lead because Covaxin third phase trial was taking place on our frontline workers. Why was that? When he found out that it's safe, then he comes out to take the injection. So it's a complete vaccination. That's a completely. So this is my point of view. Is the Prime Minister should lead. That was the hesitancy. And a very important point is, we know the cases have risen now. It's gone up. The coronavirus cases, again, a surge has come up. We had these vaccines. In January, we exported 10 million. In February, around 26 million to 25 countries. Why didn't we start vaccinating our people? What is the national policy at this point of time? I remember Ms. Sitaraman said before the Bihar elections that muft mein milenge Bihar mein. What has happened to the muft? We hear that, okay, now 40 plus with comorbidities and 60 plus are getting the vaccination. What about the BPL
if you heard the Chief Minister of Bihar just earlier today, he said Bihar mein muft milenge. The Chief Minister said so. Okay,
so
Guru Prakash, please respond. You want to honor nurses? Take their names. Why mention the state? Why mention the state of the nurses? And were the nurses chosen, as the Congress party seems to imply or allege, because there are elections in Puducherry, because there will be elections in Kerala, the Prime Minister chooses a nurse from Kerala in Puducherry?
Gaurav, I am live from Patna. I'm live from Bihar, and our Honorable Chief Minister has announced that the vaccination is going to be free. It's a commitment for us. And I see no politics behind it. You see, the Congress party has no vision, has no imagination. That is why they're trying to make an issue out of it. This is beyond my comprehension. The states which are going to post the Congress party is already marginalized in all the states. So I seriously see no point. It is a time when all of us, regardless of our political affiliation, must come forward. The problem is, Gaurav, that over the course of the last 10 months, over the course of the entire pandemic, the Prime Minister has shown the world what stellar leadership is. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Ann Yojana, Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Rozgar Yojana, more than 200 nations. We are
but why was the Prime Minister? Why was the Prime Minister wearing a gamcha from Assam? Is the question that the Congress party raises. Why was the Prime Minister wearing a gamcha from Assam? Because there are elections. Because there are. Can I?
He has to talk about the vaccine, Gaurav Sawant.
Oh, absolutely. I put that question to him, Dr. Sharma Mohammed. Why the gamcha from Assam?
If he's come for this debate or
and
some
I
other debate.
interrupted him.
Gaurav, he has been using
Okay. I will allow me to moderate. Please respond, sir. Why the gamcha from Assam?
Gaurav bhai, you know that this Assam gamcha, our Prime Minister has been using since ages, since he was a pracharak for more than 20 years. As was there an election in the last 20 years. This is beyond my comprehension. Please ask the respectable spokesperson from the Congress party not to interfere by doing this when they have no logic, they have no rationale. They try to deviate the topic. But this is beyond the point. The Honorable Prime Minister has tried. He has, like we have seen in 2016. I can give you 100 such photographs where the Honorable Prime Minister was using the gamcha. I seriously don't understand this. Why they try to make a political issue out of it when there is no politics behind it. It was just a normal routine thing.
Okay. Can I come in, Gaurav? Can I ask him a question? He hasn't told. He hasn't explained.
Dr. Bagai,
just one question.
Of course you can, but Dr. Bagai, is there merit? Okay, sure. I'll come to you in just a moment. But Dr. Bagai, does it matter whether the Prime Minister wears a gamcha from Assam or has a nurse from Kerala or a nurse from Puducherry, or is all this carefully orchestrated with elections in these states? And do these things actually impact elections? Whether you are a gamcha from Assam or there's a nurse from Kerala, perhaps 8 nurses out of 10 may just end up being from Kerala. Dr. Bagai, you would know the statistics better than I.
Yeah, just very quickly, 3 quick points. I don't think any political party should be focusing on the Honorable Prime Minister's attire. They would be better served if they do real good service for our country by helping the vaccination drive and promoting factual science and data. Point number 2 is my colleague on the panel had mentioned about the Covaxin data, whether it was approved or not approved. Please, I won't go into the gross details, but more than 23,500 volunteers were already tried upon before it got
I didn't say approved or not approved. Please don't put words in my mouth. I said phase 3 trials. I know what I'm talking about. I'm a doctor myself. So the phase 3 trial is what I spoke about, not approved or not approved. So please don't put words in my mouth. No, you can't put words in my mouth. I will not allow that.
Please.
If you're a doctor or whatever you are, you can't put words in my mouth.
Absolutely. Fine. You've made your point. Dr. Bagai, please respond. Ma'am, that's unfortunate. Whatever you are is completely uncalled for. A very respectable doctor, ma'am. You're a doctor, he's a doctor. Let's
he's putting
please
words in
maintain
my
that.
mouth. He can't say what I did not say. No, he can't say what I did not say. I'm sorry, Gaurav.
Ma'am,
I did not say what he said. I said about phase 3
perfect
trials.
point taken. Point taken, ma'am. Dr. Bagai, please respond. Dr. Bagai is responding. Dr. Bagai is responding to that point. Dr. Shama Mohammed, Dr. Bagai, please respond.
Yeah, and more importantly, I think the entire controversy with regards the vaccine hesitancy, the complacency, the mistrust, the misinformation which was floating around, that's all gone. With regards the amount of patients and doctors we have already vaccinated right now, it's almost half the size of UK within a month and a half. We spoke at length within our medical fraternity. I just have a simple question to Pan India as an audience. What would have happened if this present government was not there during this catastrophic pandemic? What would have happened if the correct decisions wouldn't have been taken? Let me tell you, the misery would have been many folds more. There would have been a lot more deaths.
Okay.
There's a lot of
Sir,
things
that's
which
hypothetical.
Yeah, there are a lot of good things which have happened, and I want all the political parties to stand.
But Dr. Shama Mohammed, okay. Dr. Shama Mohammed, isn't that a fair point that Dr. Bagai also raises, that this is not about BJP or Congress, this is about India. It's an Indian vaccine. The Prime Minister has placed his faith in an Indian vaccine. He's taken the jab. So many people have taken the jab. Shouldn't everyone come together and perhaps move forward and encourage others to get vaccinated instead of raising doubts? Are there too many doubting Thomases just for the sake of politics on this subject? Senior Congress leaders had raised an issue about the efficacy of the vaccine. Now the Prime Minister has taken it, ma'am.
Yeah, I have also raised the efficacy of the vaccine even earlier on when the phase 3 trials were happening on our frontline workers, on our doctors and nurses. The phase 3 trial is over after that, no? So that's when he's taken this thing. But anyway, it's a good thing. I've also tweeted on that. It's a good, but Prime Minister should have started earlier on. And also they're giving a provisional certificate, the Health Ministry, where there is a picture of the Prime Minister at the bottom of it. Why should we have that? This is a national policy, it should be, of vaccinating people. I don't understand why there's a picture of the Prime Minister at the bottom saying that, you know, good, you've taken the vaccine. I don't agree on those things. So that is again promoting the Prime Minister as if the Prime Minister of India is behind this vaccination.
So are these the only issues? I mean, can we, my point is...
That's why. So why are they making it political? Why
can we keep India first? Can we encourage the vaccine? Can we encourage others to take it?
So the Prime Minister also make India first. So let him do that. Why his face everywhere? We don't want to see that.
So Dr. Bagai and Guru Prakash, first Dr. Bagai, is there a problem with the Prime Minister's photo? He's after all the Prime Minister of the country.
Yeah, so there's no requirement on the vaccination
so there is a problem with the nurse from Kerala, there's a problem with the nurse from Puducherry, there's a problem with the gamcha from Assam, and there is a problem with the Prime Minister's picture. Dr. Bagai, response,
It's about where they come from, it's nothing of those sort.
I think this is the last stage, in which we should get involved in politics of irrelevance. This is completely bizarre, absurd. And anyone who's criticizing for the sake of criticizing, it's a cruel joke mocking India, mocking the Indian scientists and researchers. But on a larger issue...
Who is mocking in the Indian scientists and researchers? I'm sorry, these are points. I will not sit here and listen to this sort of nonsense, Gaurav. Nobody has insulted the scientists or researchers. How dare you come on television and say these things? I'm sorry. I'm not going. No. You're talking about things that when I'm insulting scientists and researchers.
No, by doubting the efficacy of the vaccine, by doubting the efficacy of the vaccine, is that questioning the scientists? But
no, Gaurav, it's about phase 3 trials. There are trials.
Fair enough. Last 30 seconds. Yes, quickly,
Gaurav, what we need is we need all of India to stand together. We need all of India to promote the vaccine program so that we can gain control on this pandemic.
Yes, so talk in a proper manner and not point fingers at others for no reason.
With any hearsay evidence, we should not get involved with any...
That's a very important point. That's a very important point to make, Dr. Bagai, and I will let that be the last word on the show. Can we keep politics aside, at least on a vaccine where we should all be proud of a made in India vaccine which seems to be doing well. The Prime Minister has taken that jab. Will this encourage other Indians to do so? According to Dr. Harshvardhan, 23 lakh more people have signed up to take the jab. We'll track the story very closely, but as always, Dr. Bagai, Guru Prakash and Dr. Shama Mohammed, many thanks for joining me on this special broadcast of India First. A quick break. News and updates continue on India Today. Stay with us.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.